this big story out of the NFL today, and it's a great positive story, and it's something that I can't believe this was kept a secret for so long. Now, Netflix has a big documentary on the Dallas Cowboys going on right now, America's Team, the Gambler and his Cowboys. Now, it debuts next week, and you're getting a little bit of a teaser stuff coming out for it now. And we found out today that in the 5th episode, right, so you get people to watch, you can see in the 5th episode, Jerry Jones talks about undergoing cancer treatments in Houston and said that he was dealing with stage 4 melanoma since 2010, and an experimental trial drug saved his life. Quote, I was saved by a fabulous treatment and great doctors and a real miracle drug called PD-1. I went into trials for that PD-1, and it's been one of the great medicines. I now have no tumors. He was diagnosed in June 2010, treatment soon thereafter. He has since had 2 lung surgeries, 2 lymph node surgeries. Now, stage 4 melanoma is skin cancer that's metastasized to other parts of the body. So all of a sudden, like, whoa, this was something that he started dealing with in 2010, and none of us knew it, right? So the first thing I want to say is Jerry Jones is one of the most public people in the world, right? We knew about the stuff going on with the woman who was suing him, saying, I want to say I'm your daughter, and all this negotiation happening. Like, that couldn't be kept quiet for forever. Even that gets out. This is Jerry Jones doing experimental drug trials, and people know, and he kept this a secret, and nobody found out for 10 years. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how a public figure like Jerry Jones, with this stuff happening and everything, that his daily life is all over the news every single day, how we didn't know, how no one said anything, how there was no one tipped off, and how he kept it private and said, I'm not going to tell anybody about this. That to me, when I saw this, I said, there's no way. Since 2010, you're talking about 15 years. Now, he's been in remission for the last years, but this story now, it's been a secret for 15 years until he decided to talk about it on the Netflix special, and likely because he's got no more tumors and he's been cancer-free for a while. But I don't know how you keep something like that, being that public a person. Like, I get everybody deals with bad news and differently, and some people, you want to fight your battles privately, and some people want to fight them publicly. It depends on the support you need. But this guy is the most public of public figures in the NFL. Every day, the guy is news. There's people that follow him around everywhere he goes, and we still didn't know about this for 15 years. That blows me away.
Yeah, again, it owes to the size and scope of what we've had with Jerry Jones, where it's normally an open book, or so it seems, right? Getting into these war of words. Today, Micah Parsons' response asking about contract stuff, I'm keeping my mouth shut, so he's taking a different tact. But for Jerry, it's been taking credit, right? At the premiere of this thing, you had Emmitt Smith and everybody being asked about, Jerry's real role and stuff, and they all took their shots, veiled a little bit and restrained, but still, it's been a back and forth. And so to keep this under wraps, you immediately go and fashion yourself your best tinfoil hat and start getting into discussions of, did he have to keep it quiet? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I started looking up what PD-1 therapy is. It's called, quote, programmed cell death 1. There you go.
Yeah.
And you start going into what the active drugs are. Nivolumab, pembrolizumab, and all these other advanced names that are just difficult to pronounce, and you start reading what each of those ingredients into the cocktails and the active drugs that were going into a system. It's really an amazing thing, and we talk about it all the time, right? The development of drugs and the pharmaceutical world and everything that's rolling on. How much do we not know? Right, in terms of advancements, how many people, with means have the opportunity, hey, last ditch effort, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, you give it a try. You love House. We talk about House all the time. It's like, well, there was this thing I saw at the, page 182 of this journal that this guy theorized. Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
And it feels like sometimes this is like a case where we get down to that type of decision making of, hey, it's dire, we need to do this, and he decided to keep this one private and until this moment. Maybe it's something that's coming closer to market in terms of an accessibility thing, as well as a treatment for everyone, and that it's no longer in those first trials or second trials. But yeah, it's just a curious story with Jerry Jones again, that we normally know everything he does.
Yeah, and look, and the best part of this is you kind of hooked onto it there a little bit, is that that's why this is such a great story, because Jerry Jones talked about the drug, talked about what it is, talked about what he did, and he gave voice and he gave pictures to something that he talked about saved his life. Right? Like, we need to know more about stuff like this. We need to know more about drugs that people are taking that work. Now, not that all drugs work for everybody, but what do I always say? Medicine will save you, right? The advancements we make all the time in medicine, and I just can't get over the last few years. It's been, medicine is not medicine is medicine, science is science. They're extending lives. Science has been extending lives for years, as long as they can do it. We need to know more about stuff like this, because putting faces on this and talking about it, it helps immensely. When you put medical cures front and center and putting them in the conversation, okay, suddenly, wait, this is something that might help me. I want to know, what's Magic Johnson been doing for the better part of the last 30 years?
He's juicing cash.
Right? Like, this is like, well, he's been doing that too, yes. But like, he's someone that when he got the HIV diagnosis, it was, oh my God, Magic Johnson's going to die in a couple of years. Like, oh, how is this going to? And here he is, and he's been thriving, and he's got a normal life. Now, obviously, he has a lot of money. He has access to the top drugs. But look, what are they? Why aren't we we need to talk about stuff like this more. I want to know, what are you doing? Because who knows when people need it coming up. Hey, let's talk about this, because there's so much in the medical world that is just so daunting for people to know, because a lot of it is, a lot of it's inside baseball. I don't understand what this is. I don't understand what the drug is. I don't get what it does here. I don't get, when you're talking about any kind of trials that's going on. But the more information that's out there about it, the more comfortable people are going to be searching for a cure, searching for something. Maybe this will help me. I didn't know about this. Oh, wait a minute. I have skin cancer, and hey, this thing that Jerry Jones, I didn't know about that. Or, hey, maybe with Jerry Jones talking about this, as you said, this could be something that becomes more available, and this might be able to save my life or my dad's life or my kid's life or someone else. But just talking about things like this, it's why I'm so glad he talked about it and mentioned the drug and said, yeah, this is what I did, and it saved my life. This is going to do nothing but help cure people and help. When you put a picture on something, it becomes more real, and it becomes easier to talk about and easier to be part of an everyday conversation. And yes, drugs are still going to be expensive, but you never know where things can go when the public hits on something and there's a conversation to be had. Hey, guess what? Things can get a little bit better, right? That's why I always come back to medicine will save you. Medicine will save you. But this needs to continue to be part of the daily conversation. And that was the best part of it for me, was that Jerry Jones talked about it. Didn't say, hey, I took an experimental drug. It was great. Now I'm cancer-free. Everything is fine. No, he talked about the drug, gave the name of it. And whenever you read about this, it, as you just mentioned, it talks about the properties in it and what it means. Like, this is one of the best things you could possibly have come out of this story.
You start doing all the deep dives, right? Schottenheimer was talking about his own thyroid issues he had when he was 28, right? And cancer has affected everybody. We've talked about, when they do the tributes as part of the Stand Up to Cancer part of the All-Star game on Fox every year, and you see some names. A lot of times you and I look at each other because there are a lot of names of people that we've known, we've talked to, that have been part of our world and business. We've all dealt with it in families, maybe yourself as you're out there listening, around the globe. We appreciate you, and we're with you. But when you have a story like this, it becomes what is it? I want to dig a little bit deeper. Not that you're not doing that a little bit and ferreting, and digging down into the details, but he talks about the treatment. What do you immediately do? All right, let's Google that. Let's see what the component parts are of this. Not that I'm suddenly going to be in a lab with a bunch of test tubes or whatever, but you want to have some knowledge, right? You want to know what's out there. And look, hope is sometimes the dangerous thing that we talk about a lot, but, also the best of things. And this is one where you're like, okay, whatever Jerry got, that has treated him, and now we get more Jerryisms because of it. Mm-hmm. We all won.
Yeah, I mean, awesome talking about it. Awesome to bring this to light. It's a great story today, and a great story for people to hear, and it provides hope for a lot of people.